Well, I guess what I see is that history repeats itself.
Yeah.
What we're seeing now is the tension between truth-telling and the effort to stop it.
Without a shadow of a doubt, Robert Redford ranks among the most illustrious figures in cinematic history, both as an actor and a director. But we were all taken aback when we learned something that completely confused his fans. This finding has caught us off guard because of previous occurrences. Is there anything real that occurred yet went unnoticed? We will discuss the major new finding that has not been announced yet. But before we get into it, let's take a look at this renowned person's life and the things he did. In order to proceed, this is required. His formative years. When Robert Redford touched down in Santa Monica, California, on August 18, 1936, he embarked on his journey. Here began the adventure he was going to undertake. Charles Robert Redford, Sr., and Martha Woodruff Redford were the rock upon which he was raised. Their parenting style was the one that shaped him. From 1914 until his death in 1991, Charles Sr. was actively involved in the accounting field. From 1914 to 1955, she brought joy to people all around the globe. Throughout her life, Charles Sr. stood at her side. All life on earth benefited from Martha's presence over those years. To rub salt in the wound, William, Robert's half-brother, was a resident in the same home as the Redfords. As Robert was coming into his own identity, the Redfords settled into life in Van Nuys. During this time, Robert was coming into his own as a person. Charles Sr. was able to continue pursuing his career goals in El Segundo from this site. Robert built the groundwork for his future ambitions by taking part in these formative experiences, and he went on to accomplish them. Throughout his time as an undergraduate and throughout his professional art career, Robert Redford followed a fairly dramatic course of study. He had the good fortune to attend Van Nuys High School with classmates who went on to tremendous success in their fields. Notable baseball pitcher and player Don Drysdale was a classmate of his. Additionally, Drysdale played baseball. Redford realized that his interests were elsewhere, namely in the realms of art and sports, even if he was not really interested in academics. Redford returned to school the next year, 1954, when he enrolled at Boulder's University of Colorado. The year before, he had graduated from high school. This was the first step on the road to fulfilling his lifelong ambition of finishing college. It was tragic that his problems with excessive drinking led to the abandonment of his academic goals. His problem with excessive drinking has been getting worse. The outcome of this was that he was not only stripped of half of his scholarship, but also left the school he had been enrolled in. As Redford traveled throughout Europe, he set sail on a journey that would alter the course of his life forever. The motivation behind his actions was a desire to realize his goals and fulfill their ambitions. He really embraced the wide variety of cultural experiences that were accessible to him throughout his travels. France, Spain, and Italy were among the countries he traveled to. Returning to the United States, he wasted no time getting back to work on the artistic objectives he'd set for himself upon his arrival. After much deliberation, he chose to attend the highly renowned Pratt Institute in Brooklyn for art classes. Participating in acting lessons at New York City's renowned American Academy of Dramatic Arts was another way he honed his craft. He was able to refine his acting chops at these seminars. By the time he showed up to the commencement, he had officially joined the class of 1959. The early years. Robert Redford's career began in the late 1950s and lasted far into the 1960s. He started off performing in theaters and on television. He was offered minor roles in several Broadway productions the minute he obtained his graduation in 1959. Broadway shows including Sunday in the Park, The Highest Tree, and Tall Story were part of these performances. Robert appeared as a guest on many other TV shows while this was happening. The Twilight Zone, Perry Mason, Naked City, Maverick, The Untouchables, and Dr. Kildare are among these programs. His involvement in these TV roles opened doors for him in Hollywood and helped him get more fame. The spark that ignited Robert's career as a star was the 1963 Broadway production of Barefoot in the Park by Neil Simon. A 1963 production of the play took place. His breakthrough part came in the film War Hunt, which he landed thanks to his performance. The combination of Robert's theater and television talents propelled him to Hollywood stardom in a flash. He received an Emmy nomination for his work. In 1962, despite his fame as Charlie Ponce's voice actor, he landed the part of Danny Tilford on Rescue 8. The movies War Hunt, 1962, Situation Hopeless But Not Serious, 1965, and Inside Daisy Clover, 1965, for which he was awarded the Golden Globe for Best New Star, were the early parts of his career in cinema. He continued to work in the business after this. In the years that followed, he captivated moviegoers with titles like 1966's This Property is Condemned and 1966's The Chase, co-starring Marlon Brando. Serious professional success began for him between 1967 and 1979. In 1967, he co-starred with Jane Fonda in the film version of Barefoot in the Park. The film was based on the same titled story. Once again, they worked together in the 1979 picture The Electric Horseman. The Graduate and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf both offered him parts, but he turned them down to avoid being stereotyped. Robert achieved tremendous fame and fortune thanks to his role as Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, in which he co-starred with Paul Newman. Robert became a major celebrity in Hollywood because of the film's astonishing box office success. Numerous films in which Robert appeared in the 1970s went on to become cinematic classics in subsequent decades. As a rough-and-tumble mountain guy, he had a cameo in the 1972 film Jeremiah Johnson. In the 1973 romance movie The Way We Were, he co-starred alongside Barbra Streisand. A love drama. The picture was thought to be. On top of that, in 1977's The Sting, he reunited with Paul Newman for another feature. An Academy Award nomination for Best Actor was granted to him for this film. With cameos in films like The Great Gatsby, 1974, and 3 Days of the Condor, 1975, Robert maintained his stellar performance throughout the 1970s. His performance as journalist Bob Woodward in the 1976 film All the Ho! President's Men catapulted him to international fame and showcased his acting chops. Career. Robert Redford shot his debut feature, Ordinary People, in 1980, marking the beginning of his career as a filmmaker. The picture was released the same year. In addition to being a massive success with audiences, the film also received rave reviews from critics throughout the globe. The themes of loss and familial strife were significant. Not only was Redford named Best Director, but the picture itself took home the Oscar for Best Picture. Redford kept showcasing his acting and directing chops throughout the second part of the 80s into the 90s. He directed several films, each of which had a unique approach to its subject matter. Conversely, life in rural Montana was reflected in the Milagro Beanfield War, which was all about community and action. The 1992 book A River Runs Through It stands in stark contrast to this. The film Quiz Show, which examined the 1950s TV quiz show's morals, was highly acclaimed. The ethics of TV quiz shows were the subject of his film. On top of that, Redford kept making critically acclaimed cinematic appearances. The 1993 stage production of Indecent Proposal, which dealt with romantic and financial connections, included him. In 1998, he oversaw the production of the touching film The Horse Whisperer, a tale of recovery through the medium of horses. Every single one of these films was helmed by him. Havana, a film about their relationship, and Sneakers, a sleek picture about espionage, are among his other ideas. You can perceive the political undercurrents in these two films. Impact was one of the most significant and enduring consequences of Redford's work at this era on the film business. Every day, since the turn of the millennium up to the present, Robert Redford had a crazy schedule juggling his responsibilities as director, actor, and producer from 1999 until 2012. The Legend of Bagger Vance and The Last Castle were both directed by him. Aside from that, he co-starred alongside Brad Pitt in the film Spy Game. As far as the environment is concerned, Redford is quite concerned. His narration of the IMAX documentary Sacred Globe, which explored the world's ecosystems, made his enthusiasm for the subject matter quite clear. In addition, he has guest-starred in forgiveness-themed films including The Clearing and An Unfinished Life. A lot of people took notice of Redford after the 2013 release of the survival thriller All Is Lost. Especially impressive was his turn as the film's protagonist. He made his professional debut the following year when he joined the MCU. This marked the start of his professional journey. In Captain America, the Winter Soldier, the legendary actor played the villain Alexander Pierce. One of the film's most notable characters was Pierce. In 2015, he was in 2 films, A Walk in the Woods, a comedic film about hiking the Appalachian Trail, and Truth, a biopic about Dan Rather, the news reporter. These 2 flicks came out in different years. His latter works, such as Our Souls at Night and Pete's Dragon, were fascinating to see. Like this, he kept making films. Redford was nominated for a Golden Globe in 2018 for his role as a charming bank robber in the film The Old Man and the Gun. His outstanding performance in the film earned him this nomination. His television career showcased his endearing demeanor and enduring brilliance. Private life. Because of his interesting personal life, Robert Redford has been married twice and has 4 children from each marriage. The history of his family and the connections within it must be explored first. They were married in Las Vegas on August 9, 1958, to Lola Van Wagenen and Robert Redford. The city was the site of the ceremony. They had their second celebration in the home where Lola's grandmother had lived in the past on September 12th. They were fortunate to have 4 children together throughout their marriage. This tragic event occurred on November 17, 1959, at the tender age of 2. 5 months for Scott Anthony Redford. He was born on September 1, 1959. However, he did not make it through the sudden infant death syndrome. He was laid to rest in Utah's Provo City Cemetery in Utah's capital city of Provo. Shauna Jean Redford was born on November 15, 1960, and she is a gifted painter. Her birth took place in Philadelphia. She was married to writer Eric Schlosser, who wrote Fast Food Nation, and who also proposed to her. Michaela and Connor are the names of the 2 kids in their family. Across the country, her artwork has been shown in several museums and galleries. Furthermore, she has worked with her father and brothers on many occasions for the making of films. David James Redford was born on May 5, 1962, and he died on October 16, 2020. For a long time, he had been an integral part of Earth. His death occurred on October 16, 2020. James covered vital topics like renewable energy, harmful chemicals, dyslexia, and writing in his documentary films. He produced a number of his own films. On top of that, he helped establish the charitable organizations that make up what is now known as the Redford Center, supporting filmmakers working on films on social justice and environmental challenges is one of the main purposes of this charity foundation. Dylan and Lena, his children from a former marriage, are the offspring of his current wife, Kyle Redford. Amy Hart Redford is heavily involved in the entertainment business as an actress, director, and producer. She came into this world on October 22, 1970. Many films have been directed or produced by her, including The Guitar, The Last Confederate, and The Sound of Silence, among many more. It took a long time for Redford and Van Wagenen to end their romance. They may have kept their split or divorce private, but rumors have it that they had been living apart for a while before it broke. It is believed that they separated around 1985, yet the exact details of their divorce remain unknown. After being Robert Redford's girlfriend for a long time, Sybil Zegers got his wife on July 11, 2009. Sybil, a German environmental artist, lived with Redford in Sundance, Utah, after moving in with him in 1996. The city where Sybil was born inspired her name. In addition to his own grandkids, Robert Redford now has 7 great-grandchildren. He has often collaborated with his children on various projects over the years, since he considers his family to be the most important thing in his life. One of the most notable aspects of his life is the undivided focus he has maintained on his family and his career. May 2011 saw the publication of Michael Feeney Callan's Robert Redford, The Biography by Alfred A. Knopf. This book, including Redford's contributions drawn from his personal files and diaries, was released over the course of 15 years. This book covers his extraordinary life and work and gives a comprehensive examination of both. Opinions on politics. Robert Redford has had a major influence outside of the film industry as well. His dedication and passion shine through in his passionate support of many issues, including the arts, Native American rights, LGBT rights, and environmental preservation. For several issues, he passionately advocates. Throughout his career, Redford has never been shy about sharing his opinions or lending his support to causes and groups who share his commitment to doing the right thing. He is able to channel his influence toward efforts to preserve our world for future generations via his position as a trustee of the renowned Natural Resources Defense Council. To do this, he channels his power toward certain endeavors. When it comes to matters of politics, Redford is not afraid to use his position to voice his opinions. He is unafraid to do it. He has been rather outspoken in his criticism of some political figures and views. Despite his support for politicians on both the left and the right, he has been rather critical. Significantly, he was a supporter of Democratic President Barack Obama's re-election campaign in 2012. He accomplished this by emphasizing their shared vision for a brighter future. Contrarily, Redford has been outspoken in his criticism of then-President and current U.S. politician Donald Trump. Numerous essays, many of which were critical of Trump administration policies, were written by him. The tenacity of Robert Redford has been on display throughout his activism and involvement with several issues. He uses his influence to rally people to his cause of creating a more just, ecological, and equitable society. Also, he is a strong believer in using his position for positive change. In addition to taking part in direct action, Robert Redford made his feelings known about his opposition to TransCanada Corporation's Keystone Pipeline. The corporate CEO first drew notice of his leadership abilities in the fight against the pipeline in 2013. Along with his work in politics and environmental activism, Redford has mastered the art of storytelling as a means of shedding light on pressing global concerns. Movies like All the President's Men and The Candidate are his attempts to tackle the many complexities of politics. He emphasized the critical importance of journalists maintaining their integrity. According to Redford's comments, he wants his work to start conversations, which leads to people thinking critically about where society is now. Additionally, he has said that he aims to start conversations via his art. In spite of his worries and fears about the current political climate, Redford remains an inspiration. He believes that as a collective, we have the power to make a difference, whether via activism, filmmaking, or healthy discussions. All those striving to build a better society, one marked by empathy, fair treatment, and sustainability, can take heart from George Redford's unwavering optimism, which he has maintained throughout his life. Various interests. After Redford had acquired his own degree of celebrity, he took the decision to start a new endeavor involving companies and corporations. Along with buying the resort, he also bought a ski area that had been known as Temp Haven and was located near Provo, Utah. Thereafter, Redford gave it his own personality by bestowing the name Sundance onto it. He was able to show his respect for the legendary role he played in Butch Cassidy by doing so. Redford has a strong and significant connection to Utah. His ex-wife Lola had been a permanent resident of the state since 1963. She was born and raised there. This is the rationale for the situation. Through their filmmaking, they conveyed the deep love they had for the setting. Much of the footage recorded in the breathtaking locations was based on Robert Redford's famous film, Jeremiah Johnson. Redford would not let his artistic aspirations be shelved just because he became the owner of Sundance Center. Afterward, he spearheaded the establishment of the Sundance Film Festival, which has since become an icon in the history of independent cinema. This particular annual gathering has grown into a lively festival throughout the years. For filmmakers outside of Hollywood's main businesses, it ended up being more akin to a fantastic carnival. Impressively, 125 films from throughout the globe were shown at the festival in only 1 year, 2008. The filmmakers behind these flicks hail from all corners of the globe. The beautiful Utah cities of Salt Lake City and Park City welcomed almost 50,000 spectators as a direct consequence of this event. A ski village transformed into a cultural hub thanks to Redford's vision for Sundance, and a global platform for storytellers to display their work was born. Sundance is a summertime event that happens every year. It helps in building a community that emphasizes the importance of various experiences and encourages the growth of creative talents. The Sundance Film Festival and the Sundance Resort are two of Redford's legacies. His commitment to creative expression and love of storytelling are demonstrated via these legacies, which he has left behind, adding to the world's richness. The Sundance Institute, founded by Redford, has become a beacon for the independent film industry's need to support and nurture the careers of emerging filmmakers. He also founded Sundance Cinemas, the Sundance Catalog, and the Sundance Channel. Also, the Sundance Channel was founded by him. Furthermore, the Sundance Channel was founded by Redford at that period. The charming and Central Park City enclave is the beating center of each of these towns. It goes without saying that this is far from comprehensive. Before its 2017 closure, he was the proud owner of Park City's famed Zoom restaurant, which received rave reviews from patrons. In 2017, Zoom was finally shut down. Zoom was well respected in Park City up to 2017. Important to remember when talking about the production business, Wildwood Enterprises, Inc., is that Redford and his co-worker Bill Holderman are co-owners. Never lose sight of this. It is essential. Among the many films they have collaborated on are Quiz Show, A River Runs Through It, Lions for Lambs, and Quiz Show 2. Together, they have created a slew of critically acclaimed feature films since they first started working together. Contrarily, it is at that moment when the cinematic magic begins to materialize. Chicagoland and Cathedrals of Culture are just two of the enthralling television shows that Redford supervises as CEO of Sundance Productions. Other intriguing television ventures have also been overseen by him. Redford often performs in a variety of roles, and this is just one of them. While many Hollywood actors have grown to love the city's neon signs and glitz, Redford has remained a true believer in the beauty of nature. Whether he's gliding over picturesque lakes, skiing through the snow on the slopes, or mounting up for a relaxing horseback ride, Redford never fails to have a fantastic time. There is no limit to his energy or joy for life. He finds joy in every experience. A startling discovery. Robert Redford has announced his retirement from acting, after more than 60 years of mesmerizing audiences with his compelling performances. The Old Man and the Gun, Redford's next film, will be his last performance as an actor, he told a reporter. His age was 81 years. He has said that this will be his last film. During his decision-making process, he made the following observation: "Never say never, but I pretty much concluded that this would be it for me in terms of acting." He then went on to remark, "It's enough," which, in my opinion, was excessive. On top of that, why not end the day with a positive and joyful activity? Redford has left an everlasting impression on Hollywood thanks to his prolific acting career, in which he has played a wide variety of iconic characters. From his early breakthrough roles in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and The Sting to his later celebrated performances in All the President's Men and The Natural, Redford's inventiveness has continuously enthralled audiences and garnered him acclaim worldwide. Because of his roles in these films, he has received a lot of accolades. Redford is well known not just for his acting career, but also for his work as a producer, director, and founder of the Sundance Institute. He has been able to make substantial contributions to the film business via all of these jobs. Upon leaving the world of theater and film, Redford leaves an indelible mark that will be felt for generations to come. His legacy will ensure the continuation of this heritage. The combination of his unwavering dedication to his work and his undying love of narrative has cemented his place as one of the most legendary figures in cinematic history. Even though Redford's retirement from acting is a watershed moment, his impact will be felt for years to come, motivating and inspiring several directors and performers. Regardless, his choice signifies the end of a period. It is not a newly found phenomenon that Robert Redford is considering retirement in light of his distinguished career. In an interview he gave to his grandson in 2016, he casually said that he wished to retire in the year 2016 after a career in cinema acting that had featured in just 2 films. He remained devoted to accomplishing that goal in keeping with his earlier commitment. His captivating performance in the previous year's film, Our Souls at Night, is largely responsible for his success. In his latest film, The Old Man and the Gun, he portrays a seasoned bank robber, and he captivates spectators with his portrayal. Redford has maintained his status as a model of brilliance during the last 60 years. His unforgettable impact on the film industry is a testament to the enduring fascination he sparked with his breathtaking performances. Beyond his extensive acting resume, there is much more to his legacy. The combination of this with a passion for storytelling has inspired many others, both in and out of the film industry. A love of narrative is also a part of it, along with a commitment to creative integrity. As Redford eases into retirement, he leaves an indelible mark on the film industry that will be felt for decades. This legacy will be preserved and carried on for years to come. In addition to his acting and directing accomplishments, Robert Redford has made a major mark on Hollywood. His impact extends well beyond the realm of cinematic works he has directed. Each year, independent filmmakers from across the globe gather at the Sundance Film Festival for a joyous celebration. He came up with the idea for the festival, which has grown into a major event thanks to him. Redford is retiring from acting in a dignified manner, but it doesn't alter the fact that he is still interested in learning more about directing. He seemed to indicate in a statement that he may be engaged in future directing projects. He just said, "We'll see about that." Even when he fades from public view, Redford's impact as a filmmaker, actor, and advocate for independent film will be felt by many. Many budding filmmakers now have a platform thanks to his groundbreaking work in founding Sundance. They may express themselves creatively and talk about what they've been through on this platform. For decades to come, Redford's impact on Hollywood will reverberate thanks to the enduring legacy he has built. This success is a direct result of Redford's dogged efforts to promote diversity and creativity in Hollywood. Observations on his last film. Hollywood seldom gives stars carte blanche to go. Once a prominent actor or actress retires, their last film is usually unremarkable. Having said that, there are standout artists who have successful encores. Robert Redford is included among them, even more so as they become older. It's difficult to find a picture that does justice to an actor's career. Of Redford's more than 60 films, a few stand out. All Is Lost, Sneakers, The Natural, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, The Sting, and All the President's Men. His filmography is extensive. Just when you thought his body of work couldn't possibly reveal much more, here comes The Old Man and the Gun. Forrest Tucker, a geriatric bank robber in the 1980s, is the subject of the true-life drama The Old Man and the Gun. At first glance, it seemed to be Redford's second late-career film after Captain America, The Winter Soldier. Seeing it, however, reveals a great deal more nuance. Many people think the film is mostly accurate. Because Redford's Tucker is so endearing, the film's protagonist feels pampered as he plunders. He may be armed, but his charisma and wit put the bank employees at ease. The two sidekicks that Tucker has, played by Danny Glover and Tom Waits, are almost as funny as Redford. Casey Affleck plays the role of John Hunt, a weary police officer. He respects Tucker despite being the first to learn that these elderly men are up to naught good. At several points in the film, Redford's previous work is used in a comedic montage depicting Tucker's prison escapes. Tucker is no stranger to jailbreak. In spite of the film's 1981 setting, director David Lowery makes it seem if that year never ever occurred. It seems like a rehashed story because of its gritty texture and retro colors, which evoke a sense of nostalgia. Tucker, played by Redford, is an individual who finds meaning in his own mythology. A criminal like Tucker could only be worsened by Sissy Spacek's Jewel. As he tries to elude the authority, he encounters her while posing as an auto mechanic. Their moments together are delightful, and their bond is beautiful. This is the result of two exceptional actors relishing in their television roles. Things don't always work out the way Tucker expects them to. The script by Lowery, which is based on an article that appeared in The New Yorker in 2003, reveals that Tucker's carefree lifestyle has had consequences and sacrifices. Tucker certainly lives his life to the fullest. According to the plot, he plays the role of a charming renegade in an enduring love affair. We need to refer to this picture as Redford's most recent venture, not his most recent opus. At 82 years old, he referred to it as his swan song, but he could make a comeback. After taking a break from acting on many occasions, Redford has returned. You think he's done, but then his beautiful smile comes, and you stop. With this comprehensive biography of Robert Redford nearing completion, we have a greater grasp of who he is, Redford's groundbreaking performances and achievements in the film business will have a lasting impact on generations to come. Give this channel a thumbs up, spread the word, and subscribe for more fresh takes on entertainment. On this wonderful journey through Robert Redford's life, we are grateful to have you with us.